Coming up here. Oh. Okay. Okay. It's different at least. Stay on that slope upwards. Oh, and a beautiful bounce up to this apple. Just seeing this replay, that is probably faster. Oof. Now you're just showing off. 24.97. He's like 1.5 seconds faster than the Team Dot players that we just saw. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Coming up for this right-hand apple first. Lost Cup Event 6 just concluded, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the replays that made this level into the fierce battle that it's certain to be. And the heat is on. With this event included, there's only 3 more levels to go. Will Team Dot continue the stronghold that they have on this cup, or will some other team or player come through? In this level, you're starting out here towards the top with these 2 apples above you. Then you have this 1 apple here to the right and 1 apple to the left. After grabbing these 4 apples, most likely you're gonna make your way and grab this one out to the right, and then you have this one down to the left, and then the flower back to the right again. So a base style could look something like going down in the loop first, coming up for these 2 apples, coming out here, grabbing this one, then down into the hang, up, around, and then coming up for this left-hand apple. From here, you're likely to come down through this small gap, down to the middle part of the level, and then up to the right-hand apple. And after grabbing this one, you're coming back again, and then maybe down to the bottom part, up around this whole loop, grab this apple, and then come back the same way you came and up to the flower. But as you can tell, this route involves a lot of like traveling from the left to the right and right to the left and back again. So if you could find some faster way to do it, that might help you save several seconds. Perhaps you can do a cheeky start and use this corner here to go grab this apple, come back into the loop the other way around, up, grab these apples, push, and up to the left-hand apple here. This would be a much shorter route to travel than the yellow to go around, but it's much harder to do. Another option could perhaps be some crazy style after you're coming here to the left. Maybe you can do some kind of spinning here, grab this apple, spin further, come up here and go the top route to the right-hand apple. Or perhaps just as an alternative to the base route in yellow here, after you grab this apple, maybe you can just come back, jump across this loop, and then come through this gap and go towards the left. So although maybe you could find a base route pretty quickly, there are some styles that could be faster if you manage to do them and if you manage to do them quickly. But I won't lie, this was a very hard level, and the results also reflect that because we only have 76 finishers this event. As you can tell already, the times are fairly high for a level that actually looks pretty small on paper. But coming up towards the 50th position, we have Philip. I think this is the second time we see Philip in the replays for this cup, and really fun seeing him back after like many years of absence from the scene. Congratulations on a 50th place. Let's check out the replay. And we see Philip starting by going down into this loop, the base style so far that we could tell, grabbing these 2 top apples, gonna come down for the right-hand apple. Now will he go back across the loop or will he go down into the hang? Looks like going down into the hang, coming in here. This hang was really awkward to like keep your grip but get enough speed out of it, but he does it really well. Coming around here, gonna go up for this top left-hand apple. And again, like these small holes and the hangs were like really awkward. It's hard to keep your momentum in this level actually. And will he go down into the gap? Nice, beautiful head first stick there. Coming down here, getting a good push by that killer stick kind of. And coming down for this middle part that we could see. And let's see, again, like really hard to keep your momentum. You can tell he's like losing a little bit of speed in these jumps, but still keeping up the momentum fairly well. Coming around here and then gonna probably come down for this bottom part, yes. And yeah, you can tell that part was really hard not to hit your head and not get stuck or anything, as with most parts of this level, which made it really fun to play actually. Coming up here for the right-hand apple. And nice, beautiful drop back into this half pipe. That was also a pretty tricky part to get a good drop into that. And let's see, coming around here with some vaulting towards the end. And coming in for a 117. And maybe not the cleanest run, but still a pretty nice finish by Philip. I'm sure he could do better with some more playing, but still, nice way to kick us out. And we could see that base style that we highlighted in yellow. Also funny to see Dale at the exact same time as Philip, so they both get 1.5 points each. Congrats. But moving up here, we're going towards the 40th place where we have Meng. I think it's the second time we're checking Meng's replay in this cup, or maybe it's the 3rd time already. I feel like I see his name a lot. But dropping 4 seconds on Philip's time, 1:13.68. Meng also dropping down into this loop. Is it going to be the same style? Let's find out. Grabbing these top 2 apples, coming out here towards the right apple from the beginning. And yeah, going down for the hang as well. And braking a little bit, not to have too much speed into the wall. And again, this hang, really awkward because it's not like smooth, homogeneous. And coming around here, good push with brake there. Clearing this small gap. Coming up here for the left-hand apple. And let's see his apple time here, 29.22, keep that in mind. And okay, not going straight into the gap with the head first. Instead, using this kind of hang. I think that's probably a little bit slower, but still he's saving time on Philip, remember. And let's see, coming down here for the middle part of the level, back up towards this right-hand apple. I think this part was a little bit faster than we saw Philip doing. And let's see, will he go down to the bottom part here, and how will he handle this kind of drop, not hitting your head there? Oof, it's really close, really tight, but gets a good push, good speed into this half pipe here. Coming up here to grab this apple, and again, beautiful drop down here as well. Can gas a lot in this half pipe on the way down. Again, not the easiest part of the level. And coming up here for the end, nice long jump, gonna grab the flower at 1:13.68. So nice run by Meng, but I think maybe if we combine that third apple style by Philip dropping down into that gap and also the clean run of Meng, we can probably improve some more seconds on this level. And moving up towards 30th place, we see that we have Zebra again. A returning player from the previous event. Zebra comes in at 1:08.84, improving 5 seconds on Meng's time. Zebra also dropping down straight into this loop, gonna go up for these top apples. Let's see, nice all-up push there, and goes for a long jump here to grab this apple and go straight down into this drop. That's a really nice drop, and you save a lot of time by not having to land on that polygon in the middle. And coming up here through the hang, gonna get these vaults again, and then nice brake push, clearing this tiny gap here, beautiful, with a little bit of gas on the front wheel to clear that gap even extra high. And coming up here, nice, going for this Philip head first drop into the stick and into that nice push. Coming down here into the middle part, gassing a little bit in the ceiling, nice compression there so you can gas all the way on that last polygon before the jump. And coming up here to the apple, nice turn here, coming in for the bottom part, and let's see, braking, going carefully in here, nice little bit of gas in the roof, nice push there as well, keeping a lot of momentum into this part. And let's see, coming up here to grab the right hand apple, nice low brake, and you can see he gasses a lot and even gets a tiny bit of push from the beginning there of that half pipe, really well done. And coming up here for the long jump, maybe lose a little bit of speed, but still really clean. Really nice 1:08.84 by Zebra. And moving up towards the 20th place, we see the time is dropping, but slower now. We were improving seconds and seconds before. Now we're seeing me and Elrond in 22nd and 23rd place, 1:07. And then in 20th place, we have TM. TM gets a 1:07.08, and you can tell the times from Zebra's 30th place to 20th place, we've improved less than 2 seconds. So let's check out TM's 1:07.08. TM also going for this loop. Are we gonna see the same kind of long jump here with, waiting here, all low, and then gassing a little bit? Actually, it's not the long jump. He just goes for a push there instead, so he has a little bit more speed rightwards, but doesn't get the same downward speed, and does a high jump here to get that tiny bit of gassing on the wall before going into that hang. And coming around here, nice brake push. Looks like he has a lot of speed coming up here. Clears the gap beautifully. Coming around here, getting some push. Hard to not lose your grip with that push actually. And going for this head first gap drop as well. Nice, gets a good push here, good speed, gets the front wheel down. And then coming in low, nice compression. Maybe not as beautiful as we saw Zebra doing, but still really good. Has a lot of speed here. Coming up and nice, does a high jump here. And actually does not do a stick or anything, just goes for a tiny bit of brake. Like, this part was so hard. And just look how he clears this polygon with an early push and then another push, and just like scrapes the cheek by the by the corner here. Really beautiful stuff, and nice push as well, gets a good speed out of that. And coming up for this right hand apple, again, this part as well could kill a lot of runs because you couldn't get into this loop well, but he does it beautifully, can get all the way down there. And coming up here for the long jump, and does a really fast push here and actually uses the ceiling here to push down for the flower. Really nice run by TM, and you can just see some of these parts being more and more clean now. Especially that ending looked really fast, but I'm a little bit unsure about the start. We've seen this version where you go around the loop, you get a nice push from this corner here with gas, so you can actually push and fall straight into this gap and keep this downwards momentum that you have during this fall. But now in the best time that we've seen so far, which is TM's run, we saw him grabbing these apples and then actually pushing down here, getting a push from this part instead, out towards the right, which maybe gave him a little bit more speed, like coming out of it, but maybe not the same downwards momentum. But then we also saw TM jumping and kind of hitting this corner here a little bit with your wheel, so you can start gassing earlier on this wall and use this kind of sloped part for a little bit of extra speed. So maybe that is actually the fastest way to do it. I guess we're gonna find out as we're nearing the 10th place, where we have Jalli. Yali with a beautiful 105.13, improving more in these 10 positions than we did in the last 10 positions. And we should expect that the higher you go, the less improvements we should see because the times get more optimized. But the rules don't apply to Yali, and he just goes for it and gets 105.13. We see Yali coming down into the loop also. We haven't seen anyone start by going out to that right-hand apple. And let's see, gets a nice push here. He's gonna fall straight into the jump. Looks like it. Gets a little bit of touch on that polygon maybe, but still a pretty nice start. Doesn't jump up high like we saw TM doing. Goes for this low entry into the hang. And coming around here, nice. Gets a good push from that like exit from the hang. And coming up here, clearing the gap, coming up for the left-hand apple. And let's see, his apple time here, 26.52. And dropping down here into the gap, pushing. So far we've seen pretty similar styles here in the middle. A little bit of gas in the ceiling. Gets like tiny snag on that corner, but you have to. There's no way you can avoid that. Coming up here for the apple and then jumping out to go, not for a stick either. He goes gassing down in this slope. Nice gas in the ceiling as well. Gets a good push. And coming up here towards the left-hand apple. And let's see. Yeah, does this kind of awkward stop in the corner, but does it really well. Coming down here, back, gathering momentum. And are we going to see the same, yeah, pretty much the same kind of push here towards the end, getting the flower at 105.13. And I guess the replay looks fairly similar to TM's, except maybe the beginning. But let's see, let's make our way to the 5th position. We see Blastake, Jaws, Finman, Gimp in 6th place, and in 5th place we have Speff. Now this is interesting. Speff is leading the cup, but only getting a 5th place. Well, only getting a 5th place in this event. But look at that time, 103.82. And here we have Speff's replay, also going down into the loop, no shenanigans. Coming up here, oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I don't know if that's faster, honestly, but it's different at least. But let's check it out. Coming around here towards the left-hand apple. I forgot what apple time. Did we have 26 something, right? 26.50 something for Yali? Let's see the apple time here. 26.56. Am I psychic? Is that the same time or did I get Yali's time wrong? I don't remember. Coming around here, gassing a little bit in the ceiling, gassing a little bit here. Nice compression. Can gas all the way on that slope upwards. Oh, and a beautiful bounce up to this apple. And still manages to do this jump here. And does go for this stick to land lower here. Coming in here to this bottom part. Nice. Ooh, beautiful Olo here. Like those tiny things. This Olo to just keep gassing here in this whole slope. Really beautiful stuff. Coming up here. And a second bounce. Again, really awkward that corner, but Speff does a really nice bounce-ish kind of move there. Coming around here. Okay, now you're just showing off. But insane stuff by Speff. And we saw some very different moves here. He improves about 1.5 seconds on Yali's time that we saw. But notice that Team Dot, who are usually like in the top 3 positions, are now in place 7 and 5. Does that mean that they maybe missed something that some other teams found? Could it be that that beginning was actually not the fastest? Let's find out, because in 4th place we have Mikkel. Mikkel gets the 4th place. We've seen him lurking around this 10th place position before, which is already really impressive considering the competition you have. But a 4th place beating out Speff, Gimp, Finman and others. Really impressive stuff. Let's check out the replay and he's 103.79. Mikkel also going into this loop. Let's see, is it gonna be the long jump here from this beginning? Looks at least not like the Dot style, and yeah, gets a beautiful push there, really good height and straight down into this drop. I'm guessing that that is faster. Nice lean back as well going into this hang. And let's see, coming out here, getting that tiny bit of push that you can, but still getting a good enough rotation so you can get that brake push, which is the more important part. Coming up here, and Speff was at 26.56, let's see, 26.81, actually a little bit slower in the beginning. But beautiful drop, that looked so smooth getting out of that and down into the gap. And let's see, coming around here, same kind of moves as Speff that we see here, but no bounce here for this right-hand apple. So where is he gonna save this time? Actually does not go for the stick, goes for this like driving just down that whole slope. Probably that is faster. I never tried that style myself, but just seeing this replay, that is probably faster. Oof. Again, this part was so hard, but that bounce is just so good. And coming up here, has so much speed for this end. And beautiful head grab. Beautiful stuff by Mikkel. These runs are getting so impressive. I can't wait for the top 3. But speaking of it, in 3rd place we have Raven. Now let's see if Raven does the same style as Spef did, or if he incorporates some of the things that we saw Mikkel do as well. Because if there's one thing we know, it's that Team Dot players always do different styles from each other for some reason. Raven also going into the loop. Are we gonna see the same kind of hang-ish style that we saw? Yeah, it is, like gassing here on the bottom, coming in for this kind of push here. This style just looks so wonky. But I'm sure they must have tried the like more straightforward style of pushing, so I'm sure this has to be faster. Let's see, coming around here. And actually, we did see that Spef's apple time here at the apple above Raven right now was actually the lowest I think we've seen so far. Let's see, coming up here, 26.61, a little bit slower than Spef, but I mean, this is just the first part of the level. Coming in here for this push, nice, gets a good push. Gassing in the ceiling, gassing a little bit here, gassing all the way on this kind of sticking out part. And beautiful bounce. And but then he cannot do that like kind of long jump out of that apple. So I don't know if you lose time there. But gets a like really good part down here into this drop. He has a lot of speed coming up here. Are we gonna see some kind of bounce as well? Yeah, really, really nice. Coming around here, going up, and this ending is just so weird. Like, does this all a break push here to get around and then goes low here with a little bit of stick and then straight for the flower. To even think of those moves when there are so much simpler moves to do there, but I'm sure they save like a 1/10 of a second or something, and that's why we see still, I mean, Team Dot in top positions, even if it's not first place this time. But then who will be in the first position if it's not Finman, not Spef, not Raven? Let's see, in second place we have Bien. Bien getting a second place again, coming in at 1:03.38, improving 0.4 seconds on Raven's time. Bien. Okay, here we go. Let's see, coming up for this right-hand apple first. And then are we gonna see this like long jump? Or actually, he might just go up and grab these and then come down to the left-hand part from here. Yeah, looks like it. And actually gonna use this brick hang here in the top. And coming in here, nice swing, coming across the gap. And so sick bounce. Let's see the apple time. 24.97. He's like 1.5 seconds faster than the Team Dot players that we just saw. Coming around here, this is so insane, so beautiful stuff by Bien. Coming around here, and this just sick bounce. Coming up, going through this whole loop here. And again, this really awkward part here, but gets some so nice gassing. Like, look, timing your vault so perfectly that once you turn here, you can just gas, like using the bottom part of this polygon to gas so that your front wheel then can clear this corner as well as possible. It's these tiny, tiny moves and also those crazy starts for some reason that just make these runs so incredible. And beautiful bounce here into the hang, gets really deep there. And coming around, not seeing the Team Dot style here. The ending, actually maybe a little bit awkward, honestly. But it's such an insane run, and just look at this start. Coming around here, we saw nobody else doing this. Coming up here, grabbing these two apples. It's not this crazy style going on top, just using this hang that's right here in front of everybody's eyes. Coming around, and that gives you enough speed to do this beautiful bounce. And again, 24.97 at this apple when we saw other players around like 26.50 something. Such an insane run by Bien and such a beautiful style. And I'm noticing the lack of two Team Spef players here. We have JT and Mieltz. So is it going to be one of them in the top position? Let's see, because in first place we have Mieltz. Mieltz with an insane 1:02.65. This is just so insane. I mean, look where we were before, like 1:03.82, 1:03.79, 1:03.78. We're improving 0.04 seconds in 3 placements. And then Bien improving 0.4 seconds. And then Spef improving like half a second on Bien's time. Just such an incredible showing by Team Spef. And before we watch a winning replay, there was a little bit of drama this event where Ramon leaked the base style that I showed. But again, that was the normal style that most people anticipate after playing a little while. But JT actually said that Ramon didn't even leak the fastest style, but I don't think anyone took him seriously. You know, there's always banter, people will lie about their times and styles and everything, but JT must have actually been telling the truth, knowing that they had a faster style than the style we saw everybody else using. So it just goes to show, never take anything for granted. And when you look at it, I mean, going around this whole way here, it even looks slower than just coming out here, grab this apple, around here, up to this apple, and then having a lot of speed coming down here. So just beautiful stuff by Team Spef. And let's check out Mieltz's 1:02.65. And Mieltz's winning replay. I can't stress enough, Because of course everybody tried this style. Nobody just completely disregarded it. But getting this start quickly was so incredibly hard. But the timing of these vaults in the start, and like notice also the tiny bit of gassing that Miels does here in the beginning. You have this tiny little bit of gassing to get the wheel fast, and then immediate vault braking. Look how far out he is on this corner when he does this kind of push. And I don't know, just timing these vaults perfectly was so incredibly hard, but that is also what allows this style to be faster. And even this like, you know, tiny gassing here on the top of that polygon. And let's just take it from the beginning. But again, doing this style fast was pretty much impossible. I mean, we all tried this style, but nobody could do it fast. But they just managed to solve those vault timings in the start so that you could just barely get up here, grab these 2 apples, coming for this hang, and just beautiful head dodge there in the ceiling. And not going for the BN bounce here, actually. Let's see the apple time. It's going to be 24.56. Actually, exactly 2 seconds faster than we saw Spef doing. And coming up here, doing the same kind of middle part, it's just so incredible to me how nobody else could manage to do this start. And does this kind of long jump here, no bounce though. And coming up here, nice gas in the ceiling, good push here. Let's see, coming up to this left-hand apple, are we gonna see some insane bounce? And looks like it. Comes in fairly deep here, getting a lot of good momentum here towards the end. And let's see, nice, good push. To do, after doing that start perfectly, to dare to do this kind of style here where you just push up the head. Again, if you don't turn here, you're gonna hit your shin, but the fact that it turns just allowed the back of it, just allows the back of his head to clear this end, comes in for the flower, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Just incredible stuff by Miels and Team Spef. And let's take a look how they stack against each other. We have Miels from the 1st place and Raven from 3rd place. Let's follow Miels here. And we see Raven going down for this loop part, and Miels just coming out here, grabbing this apple first. And we're not gonna know anything until we see them exiting this part and going towards the left-hand apple. But we see Raven down here now, going through the hang part. Miels coming up, doing this top hang instead. And yeah, we just see Miels light years ahead of Raven, actually. And this is like in the first 20 seconds to have this big of a lead. It's just crazy stuff. And coming down here, and yeah, we don't even see Raven anymore. We have to include both players here, but we see Miels coming up towards his right-hand apple. Raven still like 2 seconds at least behind. They do a little bit different style here. Raven goes in for this bounce, so he comes low, where you have Miels already high up on the wall. But yeah, Raven still has to go in and turn. Miels still far in the lead, coming down here. And yeah, we see Raven just playing catch up this whole level. And coming on up here into the top for the bounce. They did, like, Raven's bounce there is really sick. He goes in really deep and gets a good speed out of it. And they do a little bit different style here in the end as well. Raven does this early Olo push. But let's see, in the end they do both the same kind of stick here. It looks like Raven might actually be catching up a little bit, but too little too late. This start by Miels and Team Spef was just unbeatable in this event. So there you have it. Team Spef beat Team Dot in this event. And if we check the standings, we see still Spef and Raven in the lead. But Bien is now beating Finman. Bien is in 3rd place and we have Miels moving up to 5th place. But is it gonna be enough with only 2 events remaining in this cup now? And you're looking at 407, which is the penultimate event. 3 apples, 1 flower. Will Team Spef beat Team Dot? Or will someone completely new grab that 1st place? I can't wait to find out. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.